That ensues. Ken, are you going to leave the big dragon up?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
It only lasts for like another, however many rounds the combat took, minus.
Yeah, I think it's like
10 minus, however, so like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah. So Greg Muller kind of like looks up as he walks underneath it, kind of come up to where you guys are, kind of all, catching your breath at. Says, that went much better than expected. Looks at, Jacob's laying unconscious. Looks at. Looks at. I mean, he doesn't have his weapon out or anything. He put it away. He's just kind of standing there.
Right.
He's just kind of like looking around, looking how everyone's just like Cleo's kind of battered. Kenna and Rock now look perfect because they divine ranked up.
Yep.
Leveling up mid combat, kind of like that old cheesy move. They're like, yeah, I killed enough ads to level up. Full health. He gives kind of like a golf clap. He's just like, well, I applaud you on your new divine ranks, it seems. Looking at Rock and Kenna. Says, I imagine that you have enough things to take care of. I will contact you shortly about seeing what we can do about removing my realm from this place.
Indeed. It would be best if you send me as much information as possible to best assess the situation.
Absolutely. And consider it from now until that event transpires that all of my forces will stand down and stay away from your forces, so whether or not you trust me, know that you don't have to watch your backs, as we will not be stabbing you from behind.
Your allegiance with Leviticus? What of that?
That still stands. It seems there is another event that has transpired that I need to reevaluate, but at the moment, Adviticus and I are on friendly terms. We are still allies. I have no desire to work with him on the material plane, but he possesses a great deal of power here compared to what I have. So I do not think I will be backstabbing him in the same way as I did Daamroth.
I would not recommend aiding him in his plans. I doubt that they would be beneficial to the planescape.
No, I fully understand what he's trying to do, and I care not about the transitive planes or the inner planes. They won't have much effect on me, but nonetheless, my position here is changing rapidly. So for now, assume that I will not be in your way in any way, shape, or form. And if there is a devil that stands in your way, please advise me and I will take care of it. And he kind of like looks at Kenna and he says, oh, by the way, you can have this as we'll say a thank you for doing this so effectively. And he pulls out the sliver of Leo's soul and tosses it to you.
I'll catch it and say, nasty little trap you had set up there.
Yes, well,
the contract was a good read, I'll give you that.
I was mostly just trying to solidify this deal. Turns out I didn't need it, thankfully.
I appreciate the token.
He gives kind of a curt nod and says, he looks over at Rock and he says, I know you and I have been enemies for quite some time, but I hope that one day our forces don't have to meet in the same general hatred that the demons and devils do. I look over my shoulder enough. I do not need to look over my shoulder for you. That is not a fun thing to be looking over your shoulder for. Alas, I believe we all have other things to contend to, so I will take my leave.
Yeah, is this place like falling down around us while we have this like calm conversation?
Kind of. It doesn't work quite like that. It's just going to cease to exist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just more of a it will eventually just slowly fade out of existence. It doesn't just like collapse in on itself like every movie ever.
Shame.
No, actually, this is just a different. This is just a connection to the abyss. This physical location, the abyss, will still exist.
Yeah, like a abyss adjacent demi-plane sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, this place will actually just reappear back in the abyss, and then someone else will take it as their throne. It's just a generic landscape.
While we're talking, so this is gonna pop out of my bag and go over to Jacob's and try and find some of the like potions he had on him to give to him.
They will not heal him from this state. Once a god goes unconscious, they have to be revived by their cult. So he has to be returned to his home location, his domain.
Oh, okay.
So he will revive nearly instantly once he's in his home domain, but he is effectively disabled. However, the bonus is you can take that portal to any destination you so choose, including his domain, if you would like.
Well, we should probably do that then.
Yeah. So if you guys want to teleport to the southern hook using the portal, you absolutely can, and there's nothing to stop you from doing it. As long as you have a vague description of where the location is, you'll be fine. Which you do. So.
That's down there somewhere. You know, in the ocean.
I mean, we've been there before, right?
Yep, you have. Yeah. So that's why it's not a problem at all. Greg Mahler actually goes over to this portal, and he goes through it. And you see the portal actually closes behind him, so presumably that's what it's going to do to you guys too. Once you guys are all through, because you guys pretty much just link hands and then walk through to make sure it doesn't close.
Make sure that we're all considered a singular group.
Yep, exactly. So you guys will teleport down to the southern hook in the very south of the map. You do not necessarily need to stay here, but that is where you currently are at. Once you are in your domain, this is the first time it's happened to you guys, so it's actually kind of neat for you guys to actually get to witness this. You teleport into the city proper, or if you actually... Jacobs, would you have brought them to your actual sanctuary, like your actual cove?
Not, I guess, without a reason yet.
Okay, so you guys probably have to spend a short while asking questions to return him, finding a follower that actually knows where it is. It's quite easy because once, they see Jacobs laying there unconscious, probably being carried by Rock, I'm guessing.
I'm certainly not carrying him.
Like, carrying or like caring for or carrying?
Carrying.
Okay, I thought you meant carrying. Like, yes, Rock's supple hands.
His gentle,
yes,
soft hands.
Yes, that's who is most likely carrying is Rock.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much work to find a high priest of Jacobs that would show you to the right location. Probably using several back alleys and secret doors.
It leads you to like a waterfall, and it's all right. Throw him over.
Yeah,
I was just thinking it led to like a generic pub, but.
Well, I mean, are you talking about how to get into my thing, my sanctuary thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a pirate cove oasis. I sent you a picture and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's you entered by a leap of faith down a whirlpool, or entered by sailing a ship over a waterfall.
Yep.
Just throw him into a waterfall.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. He's the god of the sea, so why not?
Rock hesitates for a second, then he's like, "All right," just chucks him in. It's a very ungraceful fall in.
Yep.
Rock on the way down.
Ragdoll.
Yep. Cleo's like, "Should we maybe put him in gently?" And then Rock's like, "Nope," and just chucks him in.
So when I come to, I'd be like, "You use the waterfall. You're supposed to use the whirlpool. The waterfall's for ships." The whirlpool's for people.
You like wake up under the waterfall. It's like pelting you with like
Oh, God damn it.
Yep. Those idiots. Not you guys, the people. My high priests are idiots.
Oh yeah, the drunkards. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
And just throw them in there.
They couldn't remember where the other location was. So.
Right. I remember the waterfall because it's easy.
Yep.
There's only one.
No.
But Jacobs, cool fact. So seeing as you are not actually, you weren't poofified where you actually had to regenerate. You actually get full health actually showing up here.
Oh,
So you don't actually have to wait to regenerate or anything.
hooray.
Which is a very cool effect that you guys would probably take note of. That if you can get to your home domain from an outside location, you fully heal.
Yay.
So, important note. Now, is there anything you guys would like to discuss before we move on? Now that you guys are all conscious again?
Well, I think the Tower of Time situation is, well, I wouldn't say it's under control, but there's no need for aggressive action in the short term at this moment.
Just realize that.
We can move on to investigating other things, whatever those may be. I don't.
Sorry, hold on a second here. I'm going to try and swap over my picture because I just realized that I'm still looking like Willow.
Oh, yeah.
As cool as that would be.
Concerning if the multiverse is Willow. They're like, I'm going to change this stuff that doesn't make sense.
Let's see here.
Alright. Sorry, did I miss something?
What's that?
Did I miss something? I was muted for a second.
No, I'm just pausing for a second to swap over my picture because my picture's still Willow.
Oh, we have to reload then, I think.
Yep.
Haha.
Once it swaps over, I'll let you know here.
Oh, it's too late. I already reloaded. Now I'll never do it again.
Fair enough. Then Willow is the Omniverse.
Okay. Is it the cat picture?
I don't know the cat picture.
Maybe you do on accident.
What the hell is taking so long for this thing to load? It does not want to upload this picture, jeez. It's the same picture I use every time, and it usually loads like instantly now. It's like,
This is a seriously guys with a cat in a hoodie.
It defaults to that for some reason, like while it's loading.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay. Now it should be good. Potentially. We'll see if Roll20 actually wants to work.
And fun part is when Justin gets here, I get to do some more technical stuff because I'm going to switch mics. That'll be fun.
That time. Ha ha ha. His mic.
Dad jokes.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I had to cut out so I didn't hear it.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't have to hear it to know what it was.
Shut up. Okay. So if you guys don't have anything to discuss personally about, like the current situation, we can just.
Did we win?
Yes.
Oh. Hooray.
Diamroth is no more.
Oh, bully. That's good. Wow. So who's taking his power?
Myself and Rock have already absorbed it.
Oh, good. I don't think I would want any part of that. It's too much responsibility.
Mostly just power.
Meh. I'll take my lucky C, thank you.
Fair enough.
Like, kind of just like looks out at the storm that's constantly brewing outside your port. You're like, lucky, huh?
Lucky for some. Not so much for others.
It's all a matter of perspective, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I believe the Tower of Time situation is not resolved, but stable for the most part. At least we won't require any aggressive action to take place in the short term at that location.
So there's nothing more to do at the Tower of Time?
Well, there is an infinite amount of things to do there, but none of them are immediately pressing.
Ah, well then.
And I doubt that you would care about most of them.
Most likely not. Then I have a proposition.
What's that?
How about we give fucking Christmas back?
Oh.
God, but
You still remember that?
Yes, we've been a little busy, but I think we can find the time to, make the world a better place.
I totally forgot. We put the stuff in so many sessions.
I mean, if you insist.
Oh, but I do.
I really don't see the appeal, to be honest, but that is...
It doesn't matter. You don't need to see it.
I mean, I'm not going to go talk to him. If you want to approach him and
I will
try and talk some sense into the man.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interject. Cleo kind of speaks up for a second. I must get going, but I do believe my master is ready to meet with you if you have a moment.
Certainly. Is there any place which he prefers?
He doesn't know of this location, so the city proper should do just fine.
Leoville, then? Very well.
I will let him know that you are available.
There aren't any, portals around here. I have to make my own.
No, there should be plenty of access points that you should be able to get out of here.
I guess, yeah.
What's that? Did you say something, Ben?
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm just checking to see if I have teleport. I have many different ways to get there.
No, I mean, if you're just trying to get to the main city for the Southern Hook, you just have to do a little walking. Unless
We'll see. That's the problem. I like
yeah,
how
no,
much
unless you
walking.
really don't want to walk a few hundred feet.
Okay, if it's a few hundred feet, that's fine. But, miles? Nah.
No, it's literally right out that back door, and then you...
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably were at a pub, and then you open the door to this the waterfall area.
Yes, that's how you get back. It's a one-way back out into a pub.
Yeah. You think Jacobs is gonna walk that far? Hell no.
No.
Of course
Oh.
not.
So, I mean, yeah, you can climb back up out the waterfall and stuff, but that's a hell of a pain in the ass. You just go out the back door.
I just imagine he tells Kenna that's the only way out is to climb up, and then she climbs up, and he's just there.
I would not do that.
No, obviously. But Rock would, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't care, though.
I would say you can, and he'd take it as a challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, not much of a challenge for him, I'm sure, but climbing up a waterfall.
You look over, he's swimming up the waterfall.
Yeah.
Rock, that's cheating.
That's not climbing.
You can't climb the water.
You return to the tavern, and a short while later, friendly Pierce comes walking through the... Oh, did something just happen?
It's Justin.
Oh, hey, Justin.
If it's working. It's not. He's muted right now, but
He's probably got it muted in case shit.
yeah.
Because I know
That's
when
what-
I try to connect through my phone, it's the terriblest feedback you ever had.
Yeah,
I go in muted.
Smart.
So Matt, you can describe the way Pierce looks these days. It's been a while.
Pierce.
It's been a while since Pierce has been
Off
around. So why don't we
skulking
do-
about
You've
someplace.
been in my bar this whole time? Just drinking me dry, huh?
When I say that, he's been busy, he's actually just been here drinking.
Yep.
He's undead, trying to see how many beers it takes to get drunk.
Yeah. You guys
Have
left.
God ale.
Figure out how to leave the island, but whatever.
Oh, he's a vampire, can't over running water.
Yep.
How did you get here?
Well, I had to tunnel through the earth. And then now I don't know how to get back.
So, I mean, Pierce looks relatively the same. A little bit more cleaner look, I would say. Darker of clothes, and he's carrying his stick of Pierce like a cane, just kind of walking around, strutting his way through life.
Nice.
There would be two important pieces of that information actually for Kenna, which she would probably recognize because her stupidly high intelligence.
Because it's so stupid.
Last time you knew, Jacob Van Hallow had the stick of Pierce, not Pierce.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like,
Nice.
is he got it back then? And I will comment on that. You've retrieved your staff.
Nice stick of Pierce, yes.
Stick.
While I've been gone, I've been trying to get it back, and I have finally successfully made a deal
With
Victor.
Victor.
The headless horseman. He is no longer the god of death anymore. I've
Is that
taken
so?
his name.
That must have been quite a deal. What did you give him?
I agreed to leave him and his
Uh-oh.
family and area alone, not allowing them to perish, and they can go on willy-nilly, but he is no longer a god. He is reverted back to the headless horseman that he once was.
Not to his liking, then.
No, actually, there's actually a piece of this that Kenna might find very interesting. So part of your problem with him, actually, is that his curse was spreading before, which was interfering with your plans in Leoville, because trade caravans and stuff went missing.
Yeah, that was the whole, like, people getting stolen from that area thing.
Yep. Yeah. So you may at some point want to pay a visit to him to discuss making sure that doesn't continue.
Yeah.
Yes, but now I have my stick back, and all is right with the world.
Do you know if he's still associating with Leviticus?
No,
No,
he is not.
he has ended that now that he's not as powerful. I don't believe Leviticus cares about him as much.
Oh. That's wise of him.
Yeah, I'd say so. You guys are looking.
So, are we down one baddie then? With just a deal? With some words?
Yep.
Ah, well done. Well done.
That's what happens when you can talk to people.
That's what happens when you have a 32 charisma.
Yeah.
I can talk to people. What are you talking about?
Fighting? Ooh, that sounds rough. I'm gonna go chat to someone else instead.
But actually, Greg Muller has made several references to the landscape changing quicker than he wants it to. When you guys were discussing some things with him, a couple of his comments mentioned how the Shadowfell Enclave was changing. You guys probably at the time assumed that he was talking about the death of, Damroth and the Baron, but it's also Victor.
Yeah, so
So that leads just Greg Muller and Adviticus.
unless they've recruited any more allies.
Correct. Which is something that would be worth looking into.
Mm-hmm. Actually, related to that, I want to check real quick the bark that I have to see how that's doing. Give me a status update.
Yep. I'm actually glad you mentioned that. It's turned a fluorescent pink.
Okay, that's not Shadowfell-y, so that's probably good.
So there's two things you could probably infer from that. So one, she might have found a way to sustain it. That may not be to her perfect liking, but she may have found a substitute to her energy to keep it up. Because if you remember before, she had to concentrate to keep it from falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
So she may potentially be elsewhere or free to roam about if she found another substitute for a source of energy.
She did announce herself as a god.
Yep.
So
So
interesting.
she may have some allies that are willing to assist her with that. So another thing you may want to look into at some point.
Yep, it's on my list.
uh,
My list that never grows any shorter and always grows longer.
Kind of like your books. Your books of knowledge, they just keep infinitely growing because you keep learning more
Well,
things.
I mean, this book is infinite. Like Pat, the
It's already
my big
infinite.
book. Yes,
For
Lexicon of Worlds.
how heavy is that fucking thing?
Not particularly.
she's a
So-
wizard. How do you think it is?
So you can lift infinite pages.
Well, infinite pages doesn't mean infinite space or infinite weight.
But yeah, it does.
No, it does not.
How? Wait, never
You,
mind. Don't explain
you
it.
assume that the laws of the prime material plane apply to everything, but it's just one of the many sets of laws that exist in the multiverse. It's quite easy to pick and choose which laws you want when you know them all.
Well, I mean, I've been choosing which laws to ignore for years.
Exactly.
They just called me a criminal.
Well,
There are several beings that count Kenna as one too.
I have the best reputation in certain places.
Yeah, you literally have Santa trying to kick your ass.
Yeah. Some may consider me something of a troublemaker.
Scallywagon.
So with the clarification that Victor has been taken out of the God running, Pierce is able to share a few pieces of information with you guys that you would be lacking elsewise. First, he does inform you that the saline elves are perfectly fine in the storm of winter. He has been aiding them in putting up a magical barrier to protect themselves from the effects. That is where he has mostly been. He's been traveling doing that, which is important for him because it allows him to travel that area quite well. And he's been able to witness the saline magic pretty close at hand, which is kind of neat because Kenna hasn't had that opportunity yet. So he could probably give you some pointers when it comes to insights on the saline elves.
I'd be certainly interested to hear any information that you have and are willing to share.
All my information, unless super secretive, is our information.
And that's awfully generous.
That's- my information, I don't want to tell you, is our information.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
He's not the most strategic or the brightest.
I am curious, have you experienced any inexplicable alterations in your life recently?
Yeah, actually, I recall a lot more from my past than I once did.
Oh, that's good. When we were exploring the Tower of Time, we encountered a temporal anomaly relating to your history and untangled it a bit.
What did you find? Any kind of good information? Any girls?
A good amount of information about your history.
So you guys notice this? I don't think Pierce might notice, but there's like a letter pinned to Pierce's surcoat.
A letter?
Yeah, it looks like it's from like Rosalina.
Kind of would notice.
Yeah, it has like her divine mark on it.
Remind me who Rosalina is.
Rosalina Ravensong, the Banshee Queen.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The Banshee Queen.
Yeah, it's just like a sealed envelope basically, with like a the her marking on it. It says to Kenna, And Jacobs.
I'm gonna like point at it and
I'm gonna like.
I want to make it very clear that you did not see this like 13 seconds ago. So it like just appeared basically.
I'm gonna like spin around like a dog chasing, trying to grab it. Finally,
It is kind of in like a weird spot, like on his shoulder.
still spinning though. Yeah. Finally stopping, grab it. Kind of you like reading.
It would have been addressed to Rock too. Sorry, I forgot Rock here.
I do like reading. Yes.
No.
So, upon grabbing the
The
envelope,
nerd of all nerds.
Upon grabbing the envelope, it flash of magic kind of goes off, and you can definitely tell that it was making sure you were the one grabbing it and not someone else.
Okay.
There was definitely some sort of sensory effect where it like not scanned you, but might as well have used the term scanned you.
Facial recognition.
Yeah, but a drone flies by and takes a picture. But upon
Are we talking
opening,
about Rock?
Yeah.
Plane?
what's that?
I will.
Yeah, it's...
Drone flies by and takes his picture.
Yeah. I'll open it and assume that Rosalina hasn't put any like explosive runes,
Oh,
water
okay.
bombs in my mail. Just
That'd be the best job in the world. Hey, you go check for explosive runes in my mailbox.
yep.
Like the new intern every week.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. Damn, they really want to get you with those. They think they'd not try. They think they try something else after a while.
Well, no, because it only takes one screw up.
Yep. Exactly.
It's a numbers game.
There might be a day where you just don't have another intern.
Yep. He hasn't come yet.
They're all trying to respawn in the Feywild.
You just have to read this fucking memo.
Mail opener. That's my.
The turnover is ridiculous.
100%.
My dear friends,
Revolving door. Sorry.
I'm sending you this message in regards to my father. His armies seem to be spreading much quicker than we all thought from the south, and I cannot spare a moment to go check on it. It would be a personal favor if you could do so for me before his armies reach my lands. Yours, the Banshee Queen. And,
Yes.
upon completing it, not that any of you are hurt, but you would heal 5 hit points. As a little burst of radiant light comes out and heals those nearby.
Burns me.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Lights Pierce on fire.
But just his shoulders. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Yeah.
Put that out a little. You have to be such a damned soul, Pierce.
Is what I am.
Well, yes, that is a nuisance that Leviticus is. I would be interested to see what he's up to down there, aside from general
Fuckery.
undead world domination plans.
Wouldn't you be able to know about the movements of undead, Pierce? Like, at least on a global scale like that.
Yes, which is actually so the map that I have you guys on. The reason why I drew out the undead location is because I knew Pierce would be showing back up.
Okay.
That is what he gets.
Yes.
That's what I'm good at.
And he's like, you guys pull like a world map basically, or a general continent map, or whatever you guys have of some descript, and he just like draws that out there basically.
Yeah. Also, it isn't like my scrying and other types of observation stuff being blocked in that area.
It is for the most part. You can kind of like get the border areas, like the areas kind of like down here and stuff where it's like the outskirts areas.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can kind of see that, or like even like the fringes over here, but you can't like dig in.
Yeah.
There is one other thing. I updated the map. You can't really see them too well because they're kind of small, and I did that on purpose. But there's little orange kind of dash marks every now and then on the map. If you zoom into this location right here, you can see one of them.
Okay, yeah.
They're very small,
They're
and
very small, yeah.
there's a button that's on purpose.
Nice.
The whole point of them is they are safe teleport locations. They're teleport stones from the Saline, like the old Empire, like way back in the day. So like those are teleport locations that Ken and No are safe to travel to. They are generally what they usually are is they're like a big stone platform where you can teleport up to about 10 people safely.
I see another one.
There's no guarantee that there's safety outside of that 10-foot area.
Do they require like do you have to cast a spell, or is it just like a circle that if you?
Nope, it's just like a safe location. So like if you find one, you can teleport to another one. Like there's one in Leoville.
Okay.
It's like the Stargate type things.
Yeah, those existed in the last campaign, or were those different things?
No, that's the same thing. That's what they are. These ones are the older versions of them because those kind of stopped functioning.
Right.
But these are the older versions of them. They're basically just platforms. You no longer have the big gateway.
No gate, just
Nope, you just go on them, and you can, as long as you know another destination, which Kenna knows all of them that are on the map now.
Fast travel points.
Exactly. You know that there should be one down in Alicor too somewhere, but you aren't able to access it, so it must be blocked. Or destroyed.
Laying down.
Yep. But these are the locations that you think you could travel to safely. There's a couple little caveats to it. One, these are ones that you've probably traveled to since you've become a god, just to make sure they're secure. You probably traveled to a bunch of other ones and they weren't secure, so you left. And you also don't risk traveling to the one down in Alicor because chances are if you teleported there, Adviticus knows you can teleport there, so
yeah.
You are a fey creature. It's pretty easy to bind an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably haven't explored past the mountaintop, which is why I put that one right there. So you can see there's also one right here. You could travel to either of those two.
That's a town, right?
Yep, it's a little village. Yep, the village is like the general construction of the governor's palace, and then a couple shops and stuff.
Right.
Otherwise, there's the. This is like a big plateau on top of the desert, where that strategically, that's probably the best location because you basically are on a giant plateau that overlooks the desert. Otherwise, you can travel down here and then make your way through the desert. Two things to note: the desert of Alicor is a very dangerous place. There's no oases really. Oasi.
Ponds.
Yeah, there pretty much isn't water inland.
Is there sunlight right now? I mean, I assume there usually is, but with the undead there, is there any kind of like permanent cloud cover or something, you know, like Mordor clouds?
Not that you can see from the southern hook.
Okay.
Or general scrying.
Is that a problem for you, Pierce?
No,
He's a
Like what's your face from Skyrim? You just pull up your hood and suddenly you're immune to all the effects.
It's fine.
Even though the guy in full plate armor's not.
Yeah.
Well, you know, metal reflects sunlight. So it's obviously getting in there.
Gets in the cracks.
Yeah.
Hood is makes you invincible. Honestly.
The hood absorbs all light and turns it to darkness.
So her hood is just a black hole, actually.
Yeah.
It's not like consuming the world.
But no, sunlight doesn't affect me in the same way it does most vampires.
That's
Does
what
it
he's a king.
affect you in a way?
No, not that I've noticed.
Also not the most observant, so I don't know if you want to trust that at face value.
We could run some experiments if you're interested, but
If they hurt a lot, no. If they hurt somewhat, maybe.
Depends on how effective the methods are.
Oh, come on, you big baby. It's for science or some shit like that.
Do I wear glasses? No, I'm not a nerd.
You're a sorcerer. The cool dude bros of casters.
They wear glasses, but they're like sunglasses, like aviators.
Just like put them up.
It's like middle of the nighttime. You got aviator glasses on.
Yeah. I
Very
regenerate
well,
most of my health, so.
well,
Yeah.
this seems like something that would be good to look into, especially since we have the god of death with us now.
I'm very interested.
I do want to point out that actually, now that you have a moment to speak with him, because of your guys' awesome ability to reveal yourselves, Pierce also revealed himself, which means you can see what his domain is, which is the god of death and undead.
Huh.
Yeah, whether they're dead or undead, you got them.
All roads lead to Pierce. You're like
Well, I die, you
taxes.
come to me.
So yes, that is the domain he picked once, or the portfolio he picked when he took the divine rank from Victor.
Cool.
A deal's a deal.
Yes. So.
I'm
Yes.
sure
So
that would be useful.
all that it would take for you to travel to one of those two locations would be for you to return to like Leoville, which you have pretty much easy access way there anytime. So.
Is this something that the group of you are ready to do right now, or would we want to do some preparations?
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Finding something else to postpone giving Christmas back to the mortals.
Just gotta. There's always going to be something else, Jacobs. If you really want something, you're going to have to.
What, make time? I'm not a damn time mage.
All valid.
Well, I'm sure you could find some lying around if you were lucky.
Alright, I'll just manifest some time.
If you really do want to go talk to Chris, then I can get you to the Feywild. Well, where is he right now? Do I know where he is?
Chris.
North.
Maybe you can just go for a walk and happen to come across him.
Possibly.
Luck.
Alright, I will go with you and take care of this urgent matter. And then... Christmas, damn it.
The one thing I'll actually say is, Jacob's actually, one thing that's probably important realistically is, you guys probably actually take a little bit of downtime to take care of some personal stuff because you don't want to jump from one event to another without gaining some kind of insight on the world. That's just your general positions as gods.
Yeah.
You also have your generals constantly. Like, I'm not going to tell you every time your generals talk to you because it's fucking pointless for all of us. But in a very short amount of time, your generals would inform you on some of those updates. Like, the current one is that Jacob's, most of your ships are not able to sail east anymore
Okay.
because of the undead armies. Like, there's nowhere for them to port at because they've basically consumed all the safe areas in the water near Alikor. Yeah, actually, thank you for pointing that out, Pierce. There's a tiny little spot right here you could technically go. Right here.
Yeah.
According to my drawing.
Yeah, turn the shithole drawing.
It's right there.
So I see that with like a spyglass. Alright. You see that little bit of port there?
The tiny beach.
You do a hit and run. You just land there and you book it.
See if there's a tavern.
But they can't sail up the coast. 'Cause if you remember, this is actually quite a long distance.
Yeah.
This isn't actually just like, hop, skip, and a jump. Like,
Unless
just
unless it was the dread pool, yeah.
Yep.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, the other ships are starting to struggle because they can't actually get anywhere properly, and because there are things that attack them from the shoreline. So if they try to, come in for a storm or something,
Yeah.
they end up with problems.
So, can I possibly as like god of the sea, summon any water creatures as escorts?
No.
Okay.
Got that turtle.
You guys are lesser. You do have the dragon turtle. Actually, that's a good point. You do have a dragon turtle escort that could definitely help with that.